Yinka's a designer that really stands out with his fusion of colour, pattern, shape, and in listening to Joy with music as well. We were just absolutely delighted that we could give him a major commission. This is the biggest thing we've done in our entrance space called Lock Hall, and to give that to a designer who's still very young like Yinka Ilori has just been amazing for us.
So when I got the brief from the V&A Dundee, it was quite an open brief. You know, they wanted me to sort of bring joy and play into the museum, which is, for me, a dream brief.
One of the priorities at V&A Dundee is to generate joy and spark curiosity in design. And for us at V&A Dundee, that means that we want to reorientate what a museum is and who it's for. And one of the things that we are really keen to do is to make sure that kids feel they have a right to be here.
I don't know, there's something about going to a museum where you kind of feel like you can't touch or it's very serious, or I don't belong here because I don't speak the language of the museum.
Often parents and carers spend painful hours in museums keeping their kids in hand and everybody finds it an awkward experience. Listening to Joy is for kids unapologetically. Everybody can play in it, but we want children to feel they have a right to be here, to run, to roam free, to explore and to be curious about design.
So I think with this project here, it kind of breaks down its barriers and sort of makes you think differently, that you're coming to play and you're coming to, you know, create a new memory. You haven't got to be a historian to know about what's in the museum or the gallery, but you can actually enjoy the space very freely and openly. There's no rules. So I wanted to try and bring elements of sound to be in the installation, but how do we remember, you know, play, how do we sort of relive that experience? And I think sound is quite an integral and huge part of how we play and how we remember play. People can also, in a way, experience or feel your joy because it's going to be played in the installation. When you sort of walked into the museum, what was your sort of first reaction to it?
To the maze, it was really colourful. Yeah, like really bright. So if you walk in, you're like, it's so bright, like, and then you look at it, it's like so colourful.
For me, you know, like, I've always been inspired by my Nigerian heritage. My parents are Nigerian, I'm also Nigerian. And colour is a huge part of my upbringing. So pink and oranges and reds and yellows are how I remember my parents. Colours is an expression that makes you feel joyful and positive, you know, and that's what I think I want my work to do. It kind of controls you. You can't control your emotion before you even know what you're doing. You're smiling, and that's the impact I think, you know, it has.
It goes without saying that spaces and places and the good or bad design of those spaces and places impacts on everyone. And what's really wonderful about work like Yinka's is it really elevates the everyday.
It's just great to be a design museum where you can think about the visitor experience but also give an opportunity to a young designer to experiment, to be radical.
Yinka has obviously had this meteoric rise over the last few years and has just gone on to do amazing and wonderful things all over the world. That's a really good example of how cultural institutions and other public bodies really need to kind of find that emerging talent and then nourish and support it and grow it. And through that you have your kind of next generation of talent that can go on and create some of the beautiful spaces that the public deserve.
When you're young, you can't, it's just signs that says no ball games or no this and no to that. And I think as kids, you're kind of told no all the time. But you find a way to navigate and be creative and dream. And I think as adults, we sort of tend to stop dreaming and stop doing things that we can still do because, oh, I'm old or I can't dream. But when you're young, there are no limits to how you dream and how you create.